Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be the YouTube made me buy it tag, which has been going around for a long time. I just have never got around to getting it together for myself. So I wanted to go ahead and film this video on what my products are that YouTube made me buy, because I have a lot of them. So I'm probably going to do videos like this in the future because there are just so many things that I buy because of YouTube, because that's all I literally watch YouTube every day. So I'm constantly seeing new things all the time, and I'm constantly wanting those new things all the time. So anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and hop right in. Okay, so I'm going to start with the very first thing YouTube ever made me buy, and that is the Naked palette, the original Naked palette. This is like the gateway drug into makeup. I swear, this is what the palette looks like. And mine is beat the F up because I've had this for a hot minute. This was the first makeup palette I ever owned, and this is, honestly, this is what got me started into makeup. I got this for Christmas, and I literally couldn't get enough of it. I used it every day for like almost a year, and I'm honestly surprised that this palette isn't beat up more than it is. Like, I haven't hit pan on anything, but these two are really low right now. But I've been watching YouTube for a really long time, and once I really got into it, when I was in high school, all of the videos I was seeing were tutorials using this palette, and back then I was like, are you kidding me? $50 for a freaking palette? I couldn't fathom spending that much money on it, because that was literally like 2 days of work for me. So I got this for a Christmas present, and I was so excited when I did, because I wasn't gonna spend that much on a palette. And then I got this one, and I realized how much I was in love with makeup, and that it snowballed from there. Anyways, this palette I would recommend to anyone. I still use it from time to time. It's probably not any good anymore. Yeah, this expired after 12 months. Got BS. I don't think eyeshadows expire, but I'm just saying. This was the first thing that YouTube ever made me buy, and that is why that I now have all this crap, because YouTube made me buy so much more stuff. So I would recommend this palette to anyone ever, because it's such a great mix of colors here, and it's really good for beginners, I think. Only thing is that it doesn't have enough mattes, but you got some mattes somewhere else you could use. I love this palette. The next thing YouTube made me buy is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette, and I love this palette. I've hit pan on the banana shade and now this light shade. It took me a really long time to finally buy this palette, because I had my Anastasia contour kit, and I didn't think it was necessary to have two, but once I got this one, I realized how much better it was. It's so much more creamy. Like, the powders are so much easier to blend and work with, and when you're working with contour powders, I think that if you're a beginner, you should definitely use this one, because the Anastasia one isn't as user-friendly for a beginner. I think that it's kind of intimidating because the powders aren't as amazing as these. They're so creamy, powdery, you know, just buttery. And I didn't get this palette until they repackaged it. So now they have the ones where you can pop them out and refill them, which is why I bought this one. And the Anastasia one is similar to that, but I just like this better. I use this every day. I use it to set my under eyes, and I use it to contour, and I do not regret buying this one. The next thing that YouTube made me buy is the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia. I keep it in this sleeve still because I don't want this to get disgusting, because look how beautiful it is, and there's no fingerprints on it, thank God. But I keep this in there too, so it doesn't get everywhere. But this palette is honestly, it's so beautiful. I have used the crap out of this. There's dents in like 6 of the shadows. I think this palette is great for beginners. Anyone who wants warm toned smokiness in their life, you would love this palette. It's super easy to work with. The colors are super duper pigmented, but they also blend out really amazingly. And it comes with a brush, which usually brushes and palettes I don't use because they always suck. But this brush, this brush is awesome. I use it every time I use this palette. So it's got a really good mix of colors, of mattes and shimmers, and it's just a really beautiful palette, and I'm so glad that I bought this one. And I'm glad that they made it permanent and not limited edition, because once I go through this, I will buy another one. It's that good. So, highly recommend this palette. So the next thing that I have here that YouTube made me buy is it's the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and I hate this foundation. I wanted to love it so bad. It just does not work for me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong for it to suck so bad, but it's oil-free, which does not translate on me. It cakes up so bad. I get really bad laugh lines, like indentions in my face, and it is a hot mess. And then there's like a crease that forms here and on my forehead. It just like it sinks into my skin and makes me look like 10 years older, and that is not a good look. It's not what I'm going for, which is really sucks, because when I put it on it feels amazing, but throughout the day it just wears terribly on me, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I use different primers to try and correct the problem, different setting powders, and I don't know what else to do, so I'm just okay with the fact that this just doesn't work for me. On the same kind of Too Faced bandwagon there, the Too Faced Born This Way concealer also, I cannot for the life of me get this to work for me. I have it in the shade Light, and whenever I put it on and blend it out, as soon as I blend it out, it's already creasing. So it's not like I can just go ahead and set it, because I'm setting it with a crease already. So whenever I'm trying to make it work, it's just a hot mess. I've used different setting powders to try and get this to work for me, because this is an expensive concealer, and for me to have spent all the money on that and for it not to work, I've used this like 4 times, and every single time it just looks terrible. It like ages my under eyes like a million years, and it's just not a good situation there, and I didn't pay all that money for me to look worse. So I do not like this, and I regret buying it. So this next thing that YouTube made me buy is the Hoola bronzer by Benefit, and when I started watching YouTube, this was like the only bronzer that anyone used. This and the NARS Laguna, and I still haven't picked up NARS Laguna because I'm not paying $40 for a freaking bronzer. But this is what it looks like. It's a very pretty, cool tone bronzer, and it's good for contouring, but you can also use it to bronze, and I love it. It doesn't look like I've used any of it, but I use this all the time, and that's what I love about it, because I can use the crap out of it and it doesn't go away, so I feel like I get my use out of it. But I would highly recommend this to anyone that's looking for a good bronzer and contour powder, because it's kind of like a 2-in-1. But I love this, and I'm so glad that YouTube made me buy this one. This is the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and this is the mini one because I have like 3 other setting powders to use up, and I didn't want to have that many full-size products to use up, because it takes a long time to go through these, and I've used this for a long time and there's still a lot in there. So this is so highly raved about. So when this came out, everyone and their mother was using it, and I couldn't get my hands on it for the longest time. Also because they didn't have this little mini size, and I didn't want to pay $40 for a setting powder. And then I realized that it was kind of worth it. So anyways, I bought the small one, which this one was I think $25. And it's lasted me a long time, so I am happy with this one. It's really good to bake for your under eyes and then to kind of clean up your contour. I only use this to set my under eyes today. I didn't clean up this-ish because I didn't feel like it. Anyways, I love this powder, and I'm so glad that YouTube made me buy it. Next up, I have another bronzer, and this is the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. Oh my god, it smells so freaking good, and I honestly bought it because of that. Kathleen Lights is the one that was talking about this, and she said how good it smelled, and I didn't believe that it could smell that good, but it just smells like coconuts and the beach, and I love that smell. And this is a really great bronzer. It's like, you could contour with it, but it's also a really good all-over bronzer, just like the Hoola bronzer. Do not regret purchasing this one bit, and I would totally recommend this to anybody. So this is a newer product that YouTube made me buy, and I bought it within the last 2 weeks or so, and I've used it every single day, and I freaking love it. And it is the Voluminous Lash Paradise by L'Oreal, and this freaking mascara is amazeballs. Like, it's supposed to be a dupe for the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I 100% agree. It's the mascara I'm wearing today and probably in any video recently that I've put up because I love it that much. I didn't think that it would be that good of a dupe, and honestly, it's amazing. The Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, one of my favorite high-end mascaras, and I've been looking for a drugstore mascara that I could go to because I was tired of paying almost $25 for a freaking mascara because you use them so fast. So this one is amazing, and if you can find it, pick it up because you won't be disappointed. Okay, so this next one is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This concealer is so freaking good. I've been in love with it ever since I got it, and I have repurchased like 4 of them. I use this all the time. If I'm not using this, I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, and both of those are like top notch. I love this one for like my super full coverage days because it is a super full coverage concealer. You could put 1 dot under your eye and be good to go to just blend out. It's super full coverage, it doesn't crease, and it is a really, really good concealer. And I would recommend it to anyone, and if you can get your hands on it, because it is still difficult to find this freaking concealer because Ulta is always sold out of my color, and they need to fix that. So this next product is one that I've seen since the dawn of YouTube that I've been watching, and it is the Mary Luminizer by The Balm, and it is this beauty right here. I've had some major pan on this, and I've been using it. I've only been using it for like maybe a year, but for me to have hit that much pan on a highlighter, I use it every day. I can use it on the days where I'm doing minimal makeup, but I still want a little something just right there. And then I can also use it like today. This is this guy right here. I love this freaking highlight, and I will cry if it shatters on me because I know it's going to, but I will just go get another one because it is that good. I highly recommend this highlighter. It is thebomb.com. So this next thing that YouTube made me buy is the Morphe 35O palette. This palette was out of stock for like a million years, and I wanted it so bad, and it took me a long time to get my hands on it, but when I finally did, I loved it. Honestly, I haven't used it that much, which is kind of sad because it's so pretty. I think I've used it like 2 or 3 times, but it's just so bulky, and it's just kind of annoying to get out, which is why I don't reach for it. But other than that, I love this palette. It's just a little bulky, but the shadows are great. They apply amazingly, and they're really pigmented. So I would recommend it if you like these kind of colors. And the last thing that I have that YouTube has made me buy, which isn't really the last thing, it's just I don't want this video to be a million years long, is the Anastasia Glow Kit in That Glow. Honestly, I don't reach for this that much. It's really pretty. This does not look that yellow on your skin. It's like a champagne-y kind of color, kind of like the Mary Luminizer. Maybe just because it's a little bit too bulky, and I kind of don't, I don't know, I tend to not reach for things that are bulkier. I don't know why. It's just, that's really annoying, and I should not do that. But this is a really good quality highlighting palette. They're not chunky at all. They're really finely milled, and they look really pretty on the skin. I would recommend it. So anyways, that is it for this video. Those are the products that YouTube made me buy, and those are not it at all, but that is just as many as I wanted to include in one video. I will do an updated one of these in the future, so that way I can kind of keep you up to date. I really liked filming this video. It was really fun. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and always remember to stay trendy.